Popular opinion. That's some really nice book over there. Unpopular opinion. College is not a scam. You're just doing it wrong. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up you guys? Talent Scout back with another video. Today's topic is why I believe college still has value in 2019 and why college is not a scam. You're just not utilizing it to its full potential. The last few years is full of news sources and entrepreneurs telling you why college is not as valuable as it used to be. They do make some valuable points, however, it is some very surface level information. Let's dig a little deeper. Here's the truth in the argument. There are more college graduates every single year than there ever have been before. In the 2019-2020 school year alone, there will be an anticipated 3.89 million new college graduates in the United States. The higher the supply, the lower the value of the demand. These critics, and myself included, agree that this does not apply if you want to go into law, medicine, or any type of biological science, because those are heavily regulated industries and we need the top of the top performers. While it's true that there are more college graduates than ever, there are more jobs that require college graduates than ever. A quick search on Indeed or LinkedIn will show you that most jobs require at least a bachelor's degree and 2 years experience. Well, it's impossible, but that'll be another video. A bachelor's degree is now seen as the new high school diploma. It is a requirement, not a luxury. Unless you're going to computer science, different story. These critics also talk about how college is no longer the golden ticket that it used to be, which is true. If you do not go to a top 10 university, pretty much Ivy League, Stanford, or MIT, it does not hold the same prestige as it once did. It no longer guarantees a high-paying career. They recommend you go to a trade school, which is not as cheap as they make it out to be, or go into real estate or start your own business. What if you don't want to do those things? If college is useless, is there really no opportunity for you? You just have to know how to play the game, something I'm very happy that I did early in my college career. My freshman year of college started in fall 2014, and I was very aware of the upward trend of people enrolling into college. I knew that the education couldn't vary that much from school to school, so I was aware that what I learned in the classroom is not going to be my differentiator. And I chose a major of business. One, the most popular major out there, and two, every single thing I learned in my degree can be learned from the University of YouTube. But what I did know is that even though the college didn't matter much to me, it matters to everyone else. And whether or not I had the ability, they won't even look at me unless I have the degree, but the degree isn't what made me stand out. Everything I did outside of the classroom is what helped me stand out. And that's where maximizing college comes into play. Do more things than just go to class and hang out with your friends. In a previous video, I talked about the different side businesses I did while I was in university, which helped me when entering the job market later on. For many people, college is the first time you're out of your parents' house and have some freedom. But an 18-year-old having pure freedom and the ability to influence the rest of their life usually isn't the best idea. So college provides you a loose framework schedule, so you have some classes so you know you'll be in general vicinities at certain times of the day, while giving the freedom to explore the community and world around you. University campuses have a ton of resources. Many students don't spend enough time in the library, in my opinion. You have access to so much information and advanced research tools right at your fingertips by paying that ludicrous tuition cost. You're already paying for those tools, use them. And you most likely would have never discovered them unless you're on that university campus. If you ever want to go and start your own business, you don't have to discover those tools from scratch. You already have a little bit of familiarity because like, oh, back in my colleges, I used this, that, and the other. College is one of the best places to learn how to prioritize your life. For many, you're balancing classes, extracurriculars, maybe a side business, having a social life, and working. When you graduate and are in the real world, that'll feel like a cakewalk because, yeah, honestly, college was harder for me than I think real life is so far. I'm still pretty fresh, I'm only doing it for like 4 months, but it seems a lot easier. Less stress for sure. University campuses are one of the best places to also find mentors. Really talk to your professors. Many of them have actually done the thing that you're studying to do already. So you can just pick their brain for all the tips and tricks they've learned over maybe 20 to 30 years of experiences. I loved talking to my upper division business teachers because even though I was a terrible student and barely went to class, I would go to office hours just so I could talk to them. They knew what I was about. They knew I was running side businesses. I wasn't there for the grade. I was there for just the degree. And who better to give you practical advice than someone that has already done it? Really, I was a terrible student. There was a time during my sophomore year, I took 6 weeks off and going to any classes. I failed that semester, but I also made like 60 grand. So it's like, you know, you win some, you lose some, bounce back. But if I had done that in real life, it just didn't go to my job for 6 weeks, I would be homeless.
Sorry for the phone quality, quick update. Probably wouldn't have been homeless, but would have been fired, and that spreads around an industry. Managers talk. All right, back to the video.
When I used to talk about college with my mom, we used to always refer to it as adult daycare because that's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of grown looking folks that don't actually know what's going on, but we're all figuring it out together, and it's a pretty safe environment overall. Now let's talk about the student loan crisis. The critics kind of have a point there. We have almost $1 trillion total in student loan debt, and that's ridiculous. It's gonna... But I think that occurs because people don't consider the return on investment when choosing a college and a major. Let's be real for a second. Obviously, I love the arts. That's why I invested $500 into this grass wall and about $10,000 into camera equipment and lighting. I love the arts, but when it comes to finding a job, some things pay better than others. That's just a fact. Perspective that in. So at any individual university, your tuition cost is the same regardless of whatever major you choose. However, some majors produce degrees that pay 4, 5, 6 times the amount that others do. And we have to keep that in mind while choosing our degree. My advice, pick a major that tends to pay really, really well. Yes, dollars do matter. You're taking out loans, dollars matter. But minor in the artistic study. To make this very clear, I am not talking down on artists. I love art, I love to consume art, I love to see people create. However, what I don't like is seeing people go $50,000 in debt to get a job that pays $20,000. That is setting up for a long road of struggle and pain and uncertainty. Take the degree in something that pays well, and then go pursue the art. If it doesn't work out, at least you have a $100,000 salary to fall back on. Not the worst position to be in. Remember, just because you got a degree in a certain field does not mean you have to stay there forever. Over time, if you feel inclined to change, change. If you grow, go ahead and do what fits you best later. But let's not start off with this much debt and this much salary. Like me personally, I work in tech. I'm not gonna be working in tech when I'm like 40. I'm gonna be a zookeeper. The second my net worth hits $10 million, I'm out. I've noticed a lot of my peers who don't know about the forbearance policy with federal student loans. Bruh, it is powerful. So let me explain. This only applies to federal loans, not to private. So if you fill out the proper paperwork, you're able to postpone payments on your student loans for 1 entire calendar year. I did it myself. Here's why. When I finished college, I did not have my job lined up. I did not know what I was gonna do. I ended up having to move back home for like 7, 8 months. I was working part-time at Best Buy at that time. I was depressed, it sucked. Had to take a pretty big pay cut because over in Tracy, California, it is not as affluent as Monterey. So their part-time employees over there, I made 14. Still not terrible, but less than I was used to for my job income. So I was making only like $800 a month from Best Buy. That means I'd only have $500 left every single month. One, that's not enough to save for a down payment or a security deposit for when I did want to leave my parents' house. 2, would have added an extra layer of stress that would have prevented my maximum performance. In that time, I was revamping my resume. I was doing a lot of courses on Udemy, Skillshare. I was getting my skills ready and right. I was doing a lot of practice interviews. I practiced reaching out to recruiters, knowing what they wanted to hear. If I was stressed, I would have not have had as much motivation to continue. I agree with you. I was super picky when looking for a job. It had to be in tech, and I had to like the product. They had to like and want me because I was a brand new college grad. They had to pay at least $80,000. I applied for everything. On LinkedIn alone, I applied for over 700 jobs. Some things that were moonshots and everything in between. It took a while before I found something that I really, really wanted. If I had to deal with the stress of limited income, as well as the constant rejection by a bunch of different companies or getting offers from companies I didn't actually want, I probably would have lost some motivation and would not have been in the position I am today. So once that first job took, it did pretty well. And from that, gained enough experience to literally jump 3 years ahead in my career. I'm now an enterprise account executive. That doesn't happen with 5 months of experience unless you are laser focused on a goal. And the cool thing is I'm still within that forbearance window. So my job income has increased from about $30,000 a year to $180,000. So from the time I graduated to now, thanks to using that forbearance window. I'm actually still within the forbearance. I don't have to make a loan payment until this upcoming January. And since you're able to write off the interest payment on your student loans against your income, I might not even pay it off in January. I just might make minimum payments to ride it out. I don't know. So probably not. I might just pay it off since I don't like being in debt. But I also want to go into real estate, so having more cash on hand to invest into that. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but having the option is key. Choice isn't your destiny, that is power. I recommend you do anything to give yourself the option to choose. So just to wrap up, college is not a scam. Just utilize it to its full potential. Use the mentorship from your professors. Use all the resources you have available. Network with people around the campus. That is what you're actually paying for. Unless you go to Stanford or Harvard, because then you can go do whatever you want. But yeah, having a college degree, in every field except computer science, y'all are different, you can just go straight in if you have the skill. Even though there are plenty of memes that suggest that college degrees don't open any doors for you, that's simply not true. Because if you don't have the degree, you won't even get the interview. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I'll catch y'all in the next one.